is my workbench. Like I drew out what I wanted to cut out for my workbench. I essentially took a whole sheet of plywood, I cut a rectangle out of it, and voila, workbench.
Are you in Tess friends?
No. Tess is a made-up character from the CPM universe.
Have you ever met LeBron James?
Yeah, you know, like the Marvel universe, the CPM universe.
It's like boom, human being.
All right. If you're not ready for Desmos yet, get there. But here's your code. Hold up. Use your real name. Okay, I can figure out who you are, but it's annoying. Please don't make me go through like that, jumping through hoops. Just use your real name. I don't care if it's just your first name, or just your last name, or some like mix of first and last name. I'll figure that out. But you're not Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? You're not Queen Latifah. Like, so please, as your names pop up, they should be real names. M8FVDR. Measuring 8 flamingos varies, no. What's a better V word? Measuring 8 flamingos. Very difficult. Very difficult rectangles. By the way, I did post the chapter 3-4 follow-up grades. Most of us in this class took care of that. A couple of us, that was still missing. I don't know if it's because of choir or whatever else, you just forgot to take care of it. But remember, we said that ended up quarter 3 because I was out before break, and that goofed with us. But that's why that's now in quarter 3. M8FVDR. M8FVDR. I'm going to post it back on there, but as you guys log in, I don't need you to see everyone. Student.desmos.com.
This guy has a really nice watch.
Hey, Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Have you ever met Spider-Man?
No.
You ever what?
Why not?
No, when we were on
Hey,
like,
Toby.
the Hollywood strip, there was some guy.
Have you ever made it through a class without asking an off-topic question?
No.
I think so, actually.
You're like a minute into this activity and you are off topic. Get on topic. 7th grade appropriate classroom behavior. Later, once we're done with everything, maybe we can talk about Spider-Man.
What about Spider-Man?
So, as you'll quickly see, your task. Sorry, I lost my yogurt for a second. Your task in this activity is to decide, should you use a $20 off coupon or a 20% off coupon? No, you may not use both of them. You must choose which. Now, no discussion right now, and I've restricted the screens up through screen 8, which is where essentially our discussion can happen. So right now, nobody's talking to anybody for the first 7 screens. I just want your like gut intuition as you look at the different items that it puts in front of you. Read what it tells you, but I'm not going to give you any other information. Like, don't come ask me for any other information. Just what do you think? $20 off, 20% off.
I was gonna.
And then who still needs a 512? If you did not get a 512 sheet, I will bring it to you. What do you think?
So we can guess? We don't know. Can we just make like...
Oh.
Unless I directly tell you guys to put the worksheet for the day away, you should really keep it out. We're going to write on this here soon. Either of you guys need this?
Yeah.
Today's.
Yes.
neighbor are both sitting on screen 8 waiting, turn to each other and very quietly talk about what might guide your choice. $20 off or 20% off. Quietly. So the groups around you cannot hear.
No, like especially on
I think blender is basically for the like the more expensive, the more you spend. I was thinking maybe something like something like
okay, so you're gonna be $10. Like let's see what
I
else.
was thinking
Vans.
I was thinking like for a blender, is that blender is expensive like Ninja blender?
Oh, the blender is.
Love blender.
Oh wait, the blender's on
Not just a
sale.
blender, it's a
Oh, blender's on sale.
I'm thinking of those like really high quality $100 blenders.
Oh, the blender's on sale.
Right? These are pretty much
It's like $33.
All right, so most of us have made it to that screen. If you haven't, go ahead and keep going. Meet us at screen 8 because I'm going to let you free after we have this conversation. So on your graph paper that you should have out because the regular, right? It can be yesterday's graph paper because we didn't really write much on there, and we're still doing the same thing today, part to whole relationships. Go ahead and write like $20 versus 20%. You don't even have to write discount if you don't want, but $20 versus 20%. Ooh, random card opportunity. Mirabelle. Hey, quit searching other sites. Stay on Desmos. Join our conversation, Zach. I'm coming to you next. All right, Mirabelle, what guided your decision of choosing $20 versus 20%?
Like how I thought how expensive the item might be.
Why does that matter?
Because like 20%, $20 you just like take like $20 out, take 20%, it could be like however much 20% of it is, not just $20.
Can you give me a comparison of items that you saw in the activity?
Like a TV and a fidget spinner.
Okay. So what'd you choose for the TV?
20%.
So for a TV, you chose the 20% off because why? Because the TV is it's expensive, right? Like original cost, right? And you don't have to write this down. We're just kind of thinking together. So you said the spinner. I can't spell spinner this morning. The spinner you chose which?
$20.
Why?
Because it wasn't as expensive.
How much do spinners normally cost?
I don't know, like $5.
Like $5, right? So if you have a $20 off coupon and you buy a spinner for $5, the store's gonna pay you.
You have to buy something else.
Or maybe if the store is actually really broken, they're like, yeah, okay, here's your $15. That doesn't actually happen, but yeah, if you use $20 off on a spinner, you're at least getting that spinner for free, right? If a store says come in and make a purchase, we'll give you $20 off your purchase, you would just walk out with that for free. And actually, some places actually have coupons for just a free thing if you come by, whatever.
Not many places have.
If anybody's parents ever shop at Harbor Freight, it's like a tool store. Their ad always has a free item in it. Just if you come in and buy anything else, you get this thing for free. It's often like a flashlight or a screwdriver set or something. Yeah, right?
My mom, used to be a hardcore couponer.
Yeah. Yep.
And like she would get her whole transaction down to 0 and then have like negative money so they would pay her.
Yeah. Seriously, because coupons work differently because the grocery store is gonna get paid back from like the manufacturer. So they will like hand over money because they're gonna get paid. Molly?
At Hot Topic, it's like buy 2 get 1 free.
Yeah. So that's kind of what kind of discount.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about percentages, if you end up with 1 free out of 3, that's like almost like a 1/3 discount, right? Like you got 1 free out of 3 on your paper I gave you. Sorry, we need a better name for these. On your paper I gave you today. Right? Okay, homework sheet. The other office, I know. Up here at the top.
The outhouse.
Yeah, but we want a cooler name. Shh. Hey, read this top section really quick. I don't feel like I need to read it out loud for you. Reading does not require our mouth to be open. And a highlighter is always useful. That kind of is becoming part of the regular, quote unquote. So in a very messy, angled way, I snatched the important info. Right, now they drew us a graph that I'm going to redraw with our percents on bottom. Right, and they tell us 40%, so a little less than half, is 220. Now, I'm going to teach you guys something that is like a hot knife through butter. And if you've never heard that expression, a hot knife cutting through butter, super easy, because the butter melts as you cut through it and it's a... So this method for working with percents is like using a hot knife to cut butter, so you should give me your attention. It's still. Seriously, go home, get a stick of frozen butter, heat a knife up. This method is known... Not in the microwave.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, you would light the microwave on fire with a knife.
My sister once put tinfoil in the microwave.
That's a bad method.
On one of your papers, probably the homework paper, write 10% method. Write 10% method. If you have a highlighter, or you could like put a star or something, this section right here, it's already underlined and bolded, but man, I want you to look at it. Anytime you're working with percents, 10% is one of the easier, not easy, but easier things to find. Because we can just divide by 10. So when they tell us that 220 students is 40%, I've got this mark right here, 40%, 220 kids, sweet, awesome. But I could actually step it back and look at, okay, what would 10% of the student population be? So I could just divide by 4, because to go from 40 to 10%, divide by 4, and we get 55. So actually 10% of the student population would be 55 kids. Now, why do you think I went to 10% when really my end goal is 100? Morgan? Yeah, we can easily, I'm going to give you a moment to write this, we can easily go from 10% to 100% by doing times 10. So on your paper, either highlight, underline, or whatever, I mean, what I just talked through is what's written out right here. The then 100% must be 55 times 10. That's this. That's how we get to this 100%. And 55 times 10 is 550. Now the other way, in that gap that I left you, please don't be writing this in the gap. The other way that we know how to do this is the way we've been doing for most of the year. And there's two different ways we can build this proportion, right? We've been doing proportion work. In that gap space that I left you. Let's build both of these. Just to see how this works, like easy. We have 40% and we want 100. But we also have 40% and know that that's 220 students. And guys, we can actually flip both of these fractions and still use them. There's a bunch of right ways to do this. We also know something else over here. This is 40% compared to 100%, right? Both of these are percent values. What was 40% here? What is 40% equal? 220, right? So, and we don't need these percent signs, but I wrote those so we could see like that's what we're working with. 40% is 220. So we can ask ourselves, how do we go from 40 to 220? What do we do when we don't know how to multiply? Divide backwards, right? So 220 divided by 40, what is it? 35.
Wait.
I'm not sure. I think it's 5.
Oh wait, that's.
I think it's 5.5 actually.
5.5, yeah.
So then if we multiply by 5.5 down here, we get 550. That answer that we know is correct.
But so we multiply by 5.
Because we divided backwards. We did 220 divided by 40 because we weren't sure what to multiply by. And oh yeah, sorry, I should write that down here. Times 5.5. Now, what I cut off of the paper is the use of the giant one. Because I know you guys love the giant one, but we don't need it, right? Because this right here is our giant one. Now the other way to go, 40 is 220. Right here I have percent over people. So over here I must have percent over people. So what am I looking for? What percent am I trying to find? 100. How do I go from 40 to 100? Times, not 5.5. Here, this is a different multiplication. This is 2.5. Because look, I'm multiplying with a different number down here.
2.5.
Now it's 220 times 2.5, and when we do that multiplication, we get 550, just like we're supposed to. So now I'm going to unlock the Desmos task and let you guys continue to decide which is better, 20% or $20. Yeah, at this point, you and your partner can discuss what you think is right. So 8's tough because my view's kind of weird. So here's 8 from my view. So it doesn't show me your. Do you guys have this filled in on your sheet? So it's showing you the student results, right? Now a lot of people chose Blender as there's contention, right? There's a debate on the Blender. Why do we think there's a debate? Like somebody already talked about it. I think it was Nick, but like, why is it actually Nick and Zach were going way too far into this? Zach, what did you find out as you were searching Blenders?
The blender is $27.
So if the Blender's $27, which is better, 20% or $20? $20. Right? That'll drop it down to just $7. But as Nick said, what if it's a
high quality ninja perfection?
Yeah.
$100.
And apparently Ninja's not even the high quality. I have a friend who's super into nutrition, and he's like, oh, you gotta get a Vitamix. Vitamix is the way to go.
Alright, let's see.
Vitamix is like $400 blender.
Yeah. $349.
So if we're buying a Vitamix, then use the percentage. So now you get to see the price of the items that we're buying. So head on into the activity, getting to see what the prices are.
Do we have to explain our
Yes!
It was on
Well, I don't want to hear you complain.
$20. It's on sale at Walmart.
Hey, your Desmos is unlocked. Do Desmos. Yep. But those are like what gyms buy, or like Panera.
And it's the space saving.
Yeah, less counter.
You pay more for a smaller phone.
we looked up how much a pink low top shoes were, and these looked really similar, so we decided on $39.97. And now we're gonna see how close these are.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to decide.
This is like the
what
Black
shoes
Friday
for.
activity in a way.
Yeah. They pay 20% off.
Huh. This spinner's only $3.
Yeah, but then three.
Not really. That's actually probably pretty accurate. A new Toyota, like especially a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what's really expensive?
It'll last
No,
you
it's
for
so.
Yeah, just $20.
No, yeah, I was looking
I'll
at
buy you a
it.
coffee.
It was pretty much the next one.
Because you can get
It was just a
I don't know.
reseller. My body really wanted it.
My buddy used to work for Tesla.
I had fallen in love with
So
my
you're gonna have it for like a year.
And guys, this is where I really like CPM. These prices are legitimate. Like as I'm walking around chatting with some of you guys, and you're like 29,000 for a car. Yeah, for a Toyota hybrid, it's like $29,000. And the only reason they don't break 30,000 is there's this like human mental trick that 29,965 or whatever, less than 30,000. Your brain like once they break 30,000, your brain thinks it's a lot more expensive as opposed to just a little bit more expensive. And like $3,000 for a TV or 2,000 whatever they have, like yeah, you buy one of the new super fancy like 4K Ultra HD 3D, I don't know. There's a lot of
85-inch.
there's a lot of crazy letters that go with it now. It's really expensive. But I want to pause you for a moment.
No.
No, 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 no.
Okay, I'll give you like 5 more minutes.
29,100.
Can I just write if it's more than $100, then
It's not $20 off.
Dang, that's a decent amount of money off.
You can, but you saying that out loud real loud, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I like what you did with the money, Sarah.
No, stop, don't show us. Please
You're
wait.
actually
Tell us about
calculating
it.
the discounts.
Are you still on the board?
What happens if you back yourself? How much money should the store give you back?
No, I'm not doing it.
$17.
I'm not.
no way.
That would be really funny. I thought maybe you'd get that since some of my friends.
Wait, what?
Yes. Throw things at me.
20% off.
That's how much money off. Yeah, that's how much you save.
They're not $83 for this pair of
There.
shoes.
Wait, they're way more expensive shoes.
No, these pair of shoes aren't nice.
My dad has some like $400, $500. My dad has $5 shoes from $500.
That's a cheap laptop.
No! Write this down. The quicker you do it, the quicker I unpause it.
We got bills. Paper.
Where?
Probably on a graph paper.
Thank you.
Graph paper. Sorry. So that reaction right there is how I know they like Desmos.
Who was that man that was standing by the door?
That man was the man in charge of the district.
I know.
Dr.
Really
Trent
creepy.
Bowers.
Oh, yeah, so yeah.
He was just standing there. He was like, hi, kids.
He was observing.
Mr. Hudson,
That's
he lives
weird.
2 doors down from me.
I want to go.
Seen all the Bowers kids.
We named a bunch of people that went to Kilburn went to school with his daughter.
Yeah. We Peyton came through here, his one daughter.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm done.
Peyton's super cool. Discount is percent of price. Right? Now percent is gonna be something like what we're talking about, 20%. But I can't just write 20 here. Right? Instead of 20, what number would I use when we're talking percents?
to find like the
Well, yeah, if I write 20%, what does percent actually mean? Out of 100, so if I write that, 20 out of 100, what is that as a decimal? Ooh, not 20, 0.20, right? So this is 0.20.
Or just 0.2.
If you want, yeah.
Okay.
So again, discount, no, because we need to. So 0.2 times the price of the object. What we're wondering is when is the discount $20? When is the discount gonna be $20? So $20 is 20% of some. Ooh, what are we? 100, right? 20% of 100 is $20. So Nick said something louder than I wanted him to while I was walking around. He said, when I'm typing my like why, you're because he's like, can I just say it's less than 100 or it's more than 100? Yeah. When we're comparing $20 to 20%, the price we care about is $100. So let's imagine that blender again. If the blender's $100, what's the better coupon? It doesn't matter. But every other situation, if it's more than $100, go ahead and write this. I'll unpause it in a minute. When the item is more than $100, use your percent discount.
Man, you're teaching us how to shop.
Yeah, I mean I'm trying to teach you how to be like people.
I'm trying to teach you how to
Like real people out in the
Right
world.
now we're at 8.
That's cool.
Yeah. For what price of the item? For percent? Or let me come back and chat with you. All right, I'll unpause you guys.
When we had boot camp yesterday, my whole body aches.
Yeah, my shoulder is pretty bad.
You were in that class.
20% of the item price. So this is the item price. 20% of it is 50. Right, so we're not doing times 20, we're doing times 0.2. So times 0.2. I agree with your math, but like, you just use the wrong number.
Submit
Okay, so we make 2 of
done,
these zeros, and then we don't have to divide by 100. So that we divided by 100 over here on the 20. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to help you think through this. So that. So this now shows 25 times 2, that's 20% of 25 is 5. Does that make sense? Because it's a fifth. Because 20% is a fifth. $83. So we're to do what?
well, you like keep going.
39.97.
Just say.
For here, if you use the $20,
Here,
here use the 20%. What you found the price for?
Pull up.
This is fine. That's not your final price.
I'm trying to guess.
I'm kidding.
This is not final price.
Hold on.
Think about it. What is 20%? You're not paying 20%. 20% is your
Oh, nothing. I hate how
right. This is
You really click?
discount amount.
Save
That's our
less.
discount amount. What are we actually supposed to pay?
It's still cheaper at Vans. Those are not.
So it does matter if you use the $20 or the 20%. I know the mistake you're making because you saw 5 here, and if you took 20 off of that, this is touchscreen, sorry. If you took 20 off of that, it becomes 5, and this also showed 5
Wow.
This is
No.
It's every other.
Does
It's
that
just
make more
like
sense now? So $100
20% off is
here's the
$20.
only situation that doesn't have that. Because 120% of $100. Sorry, 20% of $100 is a $20 discount. Right here, that's a $5 discount. Does that make more sense?
What? The last off was 20% off.
So I'm wondering if this was a misclick. Why, when you found out the price of the spigot?
You could buy that flat.
Oh yeah, I did 20% off.
Yeah.
Because right, like we would much rather either get it for free or have the store actually pay us, right?
No, she said it.
I know, that's the funny thing, because when I looked at like the pure data,
It doesn't matter. Cause like what do we have? $100, right? So you want to take off
Some people don't know how to do math.
and that is why I'm pausing us. Whoa, these are limited edition, pretty in pink. I don't know, but okay, they're $83. Bring it up here. Hey, we have at least 4 classmates disagreeing with at least 12 classmates, and I don't even know how many of us there are in here today. So we got to talk about this, right? Now, these are not your classmates' names. I've anonymized. Those are famous mathematicians. What we're talking about here is what's better, 20% discount of $83 or $20 off. The easy thing to think about first, if we choose $20 off, what do we pay? 63, right? So, hold on. So $20 off. Okay, fine, whatever. 20 off 83 is 63. Yeah, go ahead and, because the next part I really want you to see, because we've had this confusion with a couple people that I've chatted with. 20%. Right, we're going to do 0.2 times 83. Now, hey, use that 10% method if you want. 10% a tenth. We divide by 10. 10% is 8.3. Right? If we think about what is 10%.
Please excuse this interruption. At the class change, could I have Margaret Malloy, I'm sorry, and Callie Batista please go to the main office to see Mrs. B at the break. Thank you.
Be nice. So, guys, if we use that 10% method, hey, and I'm going to do this every single day we do percent work, the 10% method is the easiest mental way. Because I drop it down to 10 and then I multiply by whatever I need. So I dropped it to 10%, doubled it. If I take $16 and wait, this is the. Let me go when I say it. I have 3 minutes.
Oh, get wrecked.
Guys, is this what we pay? No, this is the discount amount. This is the discount. So wait, which is better, $20 discount or $16 discount? 20. Right, the $20 is better here, unless you're trying to pay more. So be careful. Remember, shh. I don't know why so many people are making random noises while I'm trying to talk. When we talk about percentages, that $100, that's that cut mark, right? 20% of $100 is $20. If we're talking 25%, $25, right, would make that discount cut. I will unpause you for a couple more.
2 minutes. done right.
Nah, just move on.
It won't let me. Wait, will it?
Type something.
Yeah, it will.
This is where we're going to pick up tomorrow, talking about when you're allowed to stack coupons. And there's actually a really funny post on Reddit about somebody going back and forth with an online company because they did their math wrong. When you stack coupons, there's some really interesting math that happens. Like the thing on Reddit that I'm referencing is a 40% coupon and a 10% coupon is not 50% off. It's not. Because one happens, then the other happens. So sorry, I should have given you another minute to put Chromebooks away, but do Chromebooks first, please. And then we'll get you over the line. No, Nick. Every time you ask me, this is like you're gonna dig that hole deeper.
No.
Where
I'm not sure what did it get?
are you?
Sorry, they gotta put Chromebooks away real quick.